Today I'm going to show you how to take your tank from this to this. Welcome back, y'all. So today I'm going to show you how to clean your fish tank. There's a lot of people that doesn't do it absolutely correctly. Everybody has their own ways. Today I'm going to show you the way from start to finish. I'll show you a few of the products I use. I'm not saying that you have to use these products. I'm just saying that this is what I use. So I'm going to go through the products, and then I'm going to show you the breakdown procedure to actually clean your tank properly, vacuum out your gravel, and go from there. So to start out with, I've got several different products. This here, when we're cleaning glass, like cleaning the front of your glass, some water, beat it up and run down the front of it. Safe and easy, it works good. You ain't got to worry about it getting in the tank if you actually accidentally overspray. It's a good product. Now you can also delay a clean, a tank clean if, say, your water is foggy or anything in that matter. Actual water clarifier will help you. What it does is it grabs the dirt molecules in the water as it's floating around, and it makes them attracted to each other, so it actually cleans them together and slows down the foggy mess that you see in the background. I'm not saying to use this all the time just because your tank got dirty. I mean, if you're in between your weekly tank cleaning and it fogs up because, I don't know, too much food in the water or something like that, this kind of helps with it. I don't know all the technical details behind it, but I do know it works. But today I'm going to show you what we're going to use. So to clean your tank properly, first thing you need is an actual gravel siphon. It works for the gravel, it works for getting the water out. It's good all around to have. Something that nobody taught me whenever I first started a long time ago. The bigger this bell is, the slower this siphon is. So the slower the materials, the old food, the poo and stuff will come out of the gravel. So if you get a smaller tube on your actual siphon pump, it'll come out faster. It'll actually pull it out a lot faster. I just use this one because it gets a good coverage area and it don't take quite as long. But I'll show you how to use that in a minute. Alright, you have several different cleaning ones. This one here I bought off Amazon. It's extendable. I like it. It works really well. You can actually replace the scrubber on the end, but I bought it because it's so long. It works good in my 130-gallon tanks and my bigger tanks, easier than trying to use a small one. For your pumps, a lot of your pumps, your down tube that comes out of your pump, you can't really get inside of that pump tube. Now, in the video today, I'm not going to be cleaning out this filter because I just have done a filter change and it's not been a month. I usually wait a month to change out filters. But this works good to clean inside of that tube because you can stick it up in the tube. It's flexible. It'll clean from one end to the other. Petco sells it. I think it was like $4. But you see, it wraps up and it'll fit just about anywhere. Another good thing to have, a squeegee. Dollar Tree, $1. But it helps you get, the fronts and sides of your tank clean without sitting there with, paper towels and everything else. You can spray on your stuff, wipe it a little bit, and just squeeze it down and catch your water at the bottom. That's just one of those extras that I was going to throw in there just for you to go from there. But the first thing we're going to do, you need a 5-gallon bucket to start with. 5-gallon bucket is what you're going to take because you need to clean your little figurines, and this is my wife's tank, so obviously we got fairies, we got gnomes, our little mushroom houses, but this is what you use to actually clean your figurines. You never want to clean, just put your figurines in the sink and clean them with that. What you're doing is you're removing bacteria that has kind of kept your tank on a cycle. And what you're doing when you're doing the tank cleaning, you're actually pulling out most of that water. I mean, there's still good bacteria in there, but it's better to actually clean your figurines in the water you're taking it out of. Same with the filter. You can actually rinse your filter out and put it back in as long as it's in tank water. I will go ahead and show you how to do that, and then we'll put it back into the machine. But the first thing you want to do anytime you clean a tank is you want to unplug your heater and filter. If you don't unplug your heater and filter, that water level falls below that heater. Some heaters are actually on auto. Once the water passes by a certain point, the heater turns off. But say there's some water trapped in that sensor, that heater stays going, it's going to heat up, and the minute that new water hits it, it's going to shatter that glass. And then you've got a whole nother, problem on your hands. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take, now this is always the pain in the butt for me, is this particular tank, this lid, but I'll just leave it back like that some. We're going to get us a siphon and some water going, just so we got something to fill our bucket with. Alright, so I've took some of the water from the tank into the bucket. So all you're going to do, use your dish brush, something like that, and you're going to clean your figurines and things that's inside of your tank to get all the algae and just built up sludge off of them. Word to the wise, some of these figurines, like you buy at Petco and stuff like that, if you ain't careful after it's been in a tank a while, if you scrub too hard, the actual paint's going to come off. So we've got all the figurines cleaned out of the tank. We're ready to move on to the next step, but I'm going to tell you a couple things before we do. One, the wife told me, yep, guess what? Today is filter changing day. It was on the calendar and I didn't even look at it. If you've got a hang on the back filter, one thing about these filters is there's active carbon on the inside of them. That carbon will rub together in shipment and when it's put in, and it'll break up little dust particles all over that carbon, and it's inside this filter. And if you look inside this bucket, I cleaned out the filter, just rinsed it, and you see how black the water is. That's all that active carbon. That does not need to be in your tank. So always rinse your filter in your bucket water before you go to change it. One other thing is inside of these newer hang on the back filters, if I can get a close-up of this, is the filter also has this biofilter in it. Don't clean this. Leave it in there. If you're going to clean the filter itself, at least leave this. This holds all your good bacteria. It just keeps it clean. But we got a bunch of little they're not exactly the happiest in the world, but they will be when we get some water in here. Okay, so now we're going to start siphoning our gravel. See, I've got my clamp on my bucket holding my hose. We don't want this going out of control and going all over. Now, I have something that I normally use, but for sake of this video, I'm using this one. I've got something called the Python system. I'll go into that in more detail in another video. But what you're going to start doing is you're going to pump your little primer bulb, and you see our water starting to go down. Now, get in here close up, and what you're going to do is you're going to daub. See all this particles coming up? All that's old food. That is poo. Just nastiness. That's algae. And all you're going to do is just start in a pattern. You're going to daub it in, move on, daub it in, move on, and you're going to do that all over this entire tank, and you're just going to do it all the way across. Start and then work your way around. And what you're going to do is, as you're doing this, let me stop it for just a moment before my lid falls in. Now, you're only going to do this until you get a certain amount of water. Now, it all depends on whether you're doing a 50% water change, not 100%. Obviously, you don't want fish being without water, but a 50%, a 70%, and you're going to just, when I say 50% or 100%, you're gauging it by how much water's in the tank. So sort of like a pie or a ruler. 50% obviously would be here, and then 70 would be around here, and you know, you just take out that amount. In this one, we're going to do a 70% water change. We can't get the water too low because these angelfish, you know, they do need room to move, but we can get it low enough that we can get most of this nasty water out. Normally I don't let my tanks get into this bad of shape, but for the sake of this video, you know, it's a good thing, but I work so much, I've had a hard time getting tank cleaning done. I'm going to teach my wife and have her helping out. But I'm going to go ahead and empty the rest of this tank, and then we're going to go into explaining your fill up, your water change back, you know, put it in new water. So part of the video that you didn't see, one warning, I'm used to using Python system. Like I said, I'll get into that in another video, but you only have a 5-gallon bucket, so it's a rookie mistake on my end. I started with a 5-gallon bucket way back, and yeah, so I wasn't paying attention. The water filled up, I was still sitting over here just doing my thing, and I filled the floor full of water. Make sure you pay attention to your bucket. It only holds a certain amount. You don't need it spilling over on the floor. So now, you see, I've got, and I reiterate on something, I said 50% and all this. Yeah, if you want to go there, that's fine. You got 100, otherwise, let's just put this as an inch, you know, make it into an inch, quarter of an inch, half an inch, and then 3/4 of an inch. In other words, you want about a quarter of the amount of the water in here if you're doing a, you know, a big clean. Otherwise, most of the time I just do 50% or half, you know, half. So I've got enough water in here, so my angels still got room to swim. They're not, you know, stressed out. They're not happy, but they're not stressed out. So now, when it comes time to fill, you need to pay attention when you first start to clean your tank. I've got digital. These are good. They're like $2, $3 for 2 of them on Amazon. They're like $1.99, but it's digital, so it's easier to read than those old glass ones or the little tape-up strips. So what you need to do is make sure what the temperature is when you start, so that way when you refill, you can set your water. I've got a hose set up so that way I can adjust my temperature from my guest bathroom. But you can use the 5-gallon bucket, because most people ain't going to go through all this for one fish tank. I've got more. But you can use your 5-gallon bucket, set up your kitchen sink or your bathroom sink to the right water temperature. Take a 1-gallon pitcher or a gallon jug, a clean water gallon jug, fill it full, pour it into your bucket, and then come and, you know, add it to your tank. Now, here's another big thing. I'm on well water, so I don't have to add the chlorine, you know, remover or anything like that. Make sure that you add your chlorine remover into your bucket as you fill the water. You don't want to put, you know, full chlorine water into the tank with your fish. It burns their gills, it'll kill them. Back when I first got started, probably about 3 years in, had some beautiful goldfish that I'd had for 3 or 4 years. I got in a hurry, you know, cleaned out their tank, filled it. I come home to a disaster. All my fish are dead. The chlorine just kills them. It burns their gills up. So make sure that you put your chlorine, you know, remover in. It sets the water to where it needs to be. So what we're doing now, we're going to go ahead and fill up the tank, fill it up to its full capacity, and if it was you, you'd be, you know, adding, you can add stress out. It's a stress remover. I'll show it at the end of the video. And if you think you took away too much water, there's not enough bacteria, whatever, there's also a quick start that you can use. All of this is made by API, so you can put that in the tank as well. But let's go ahead and fill this tank. Now, obviously this is a water hose, so it's going to be little bit fast at first, so I'm going to put my hand over it so that way I don't, splatter water and blow the rocks everywhere. But once I get it fully open with this particular hose end, it just bails out. It doesn't, stir things up. Like I said, the fish are not happy, but they're not that upset. And we're just going to sit and let the water fill up to its full capacity. We'll put the filter back in and start the pumps and the heaters back up. Now the tank is finally clean. Alright, well, in your case, what you're going to want to use if you have chlorine in your water, Stress Coat API. This here makes tap water safe. It removes chlorine and all the different little materials, heavy metals, that stuff in the water. It also it protects the fish. It's got aloe and it reduces stress with them. That's the only reason I use this, because I'm on well water, but at the same time it removes those heavy metals that's coming out of my well. So that's a good product to have. Also, quick start. If you are just starting a tank, this will save you time, because a lot of people will go to the pet store, they'll buy them a tank, and they will fill it up and directly throw fish in it. Even if they put the chlorine out, they'll just throw the fish directly into it, so you have no good bacteria already started. The quick start is that good bacteria. It gets the tank basically already started and ready and growing bacteria. That way you're good to go. But so yep, that is your final product. A good clean tank, happy fish, and we will see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share these videos to your friends, and y'all have a good one.